I'm going to do a tarot reading for Israel and Iran. Typically, I like to actually have real people that I do tarot readings of. I really like debates and all of that. But I think Iran and Israel, I mean, let's face it, people, countries, nations, bishops, corporations, CEOs, janitors, people that ride bicycles, people that ride cars. These are all entities of their own kind. They all have their own paths. We are part of something much larger than ourselves, and we are also much larger than many things that also have their own paths that are within us. I mean, I don't know, theoretically, possibly our fucking hands have their own tarot path that we're just not really paying attention to in general. So, what's Israel going to be? Seven of Cups. Look at that. Utopia. I mean, that's a good sign, right? Seven of Cups, Utopia, Israel. Maybe Israel's on the right path. I don't know. What about Iran? Reverse the Fool. Well, now I'm going to also draw a card for the United States. Because, let's face it, the United States is going to be a massive make or break in this whole thing. Or is it? Maybe the cards will tell us something different. Just because the cards don't necessarily tell you what you believe doesn't mean they're incorrect. All right. The United States is the Death card. And that's exactly what I would assume. Death. And let's draw a little Palestine card. Just so, I don't know, let's check up on them. What's going on with Palestine? Three of Cups. So Palestine and the United States, who we're not really reading for entirely, but keep in mind that the United States is death. And Palestine is the Three of Cups. Israel is the Seven of Cups. Iran, Reverse Fool. Now, just from what I know, from watching the news and everything I know about the history of Israel and Iran, and to some degree, at least the past few decades of a vendetta that Netanyahu has had against Iran. In this case, Israel being the Seven of Cups, I don't really see it as inherently a vendetta against Iran as much as a hope for something much larger than what's currently happening. It's kind of like looking to the future. Now, Israel is not to be confused with Netanyahu. Netanyahu and Israel are two different entities. But Netanyahu is currently steering the ship of Israel. What does the Seven of Cups mean to Israel? I kind of see it that this is going to be a massive test for whether Israel is capable of making it into the perspective it has of itself. Can you accomplish the goal that you're currently moving towards? They want utopia. That doesn't mean that this is what's going to happen. What this card really says is that there is at least a path forward, but in order to get there, you guys have to kind of like make the right decisions. This is the make or break point in some situation. Now, also look at the number 7. There's like an age-old myth And I say myth not as like it's totally fake, more so that this is just what you hear, right? In a relationship, 7 years is what it takes to reach that make or break point. After 7 years, the entire relationship, and whether it's going to last forever or not, or at least theoretically, comes at the 7th year. The Seven of Cups, in my mind, and the way I view Israel and everything they're doing, I see this as a Hail Mary pass, like attacking Iran in the first place. Keep in mind, Iran was in negotiations with Trump for a peace deal, and then the peace negotiator was killed in the attack from Israel. So this is a Hail Mary attempt at making the United States fight Iran. I don't need to read the cards to know that. That's more of just my assessment from watching the news and doing the best research I can. Seven of Cups just kind of solidifies that for me. Now, reverse fool for Iran, in some ways I see it as like Iran kind of approached foreign policy with the United States specifically on a certain level of naivety. And on top of that, their response to Israel, which was to show a feat of strength, right? They showed, oh, we can launch missiles and actually hit your country as well, too. It was just one attack, as far as I know. And who knows when I upload this if there will be more. But it's sort of like a naive move to think that this one attack is going to dissuade the United States government from supporting Israel or dissuade Israel from continuing to attack. It's Iran had hope based on ignorance that dealing with the U.S. in this peace deal would lead to a good direction for them. The result, of course, is that Israel attacked them. Israel does not want Iran to make peace, so Israel attacked Iran. I think since the 90s, or like at least like an official statement in 2002 from Netanyahu was Iran needs to be taken down because they're a few weeks from a nuclear weapon. So now that Iran actually had a possibility of having a peace deal with the United States, Israel's move was to say, no, you're not. We're going to force you into a war with the United States now. And in Israel, only sending a few missiles as a hope of showing, oh, we can defend ourselves. That was also a reverse fool move because now it is used as propaganda. It didn't make that big of a difference in a tactical way. It only seemed to also shoot them in the foot. As for Palestine and all of this, Three of Cups is sort of like, band together and get through this type of card. Palestine, right now, the people of Palestine, their present goal is to stick together, community, form solidarity communities, really focus on group protection and group service. I don't really think, in the way that I look at it, is that Palestine in any way can do anything else. There isn't really much of a say that they have in foreign policy having to do with all of these countries. Or, they don't really have that chance. So their only real focus is about the group and the people and what they can do to help each other. I'll put it to the side. I'm not going to put it back in the deck. The United States being the death card, I think it's good to keep it at least somewhat to the side because they are definitely a massive actor in all of this. I mean, they are the make or break. And keep in mind, that is kind of what... And make or break is not the right... but they are the death card because they can easily eradicate all of this. It does come down to the United States decision. The United States can either be... And the United States has the power and the capability to eradicate either country. Just talking about physically speaking, they have power. Israel has nuclear weapons, but they're not as much and they're also very secretive about it. They don't want the world to actually officially know that they have nuclear weapons, right? So that's what you want to keep in mind with that. The United States can easily destroy Iran. It might take some time. It depends on the tactics used. We have Donald Trump as president, who is a wild card. Whatever he decides to do, he can do whatever he wants in some sense. He might go down a militaristic route. That's a very massive potential. He could decide, you know what? No, I'm not going to help Israel, and that would put Israel in some deep doo-doo, because they will either have to resort to nuclear weapons, or they're going to which would not be good for them if they actually utilize them against Iran, as far as other nations that deeply hate them. I mean, keep in mind, the entire globe is turning against Israel very quickly. And the United States is their only supporter. So if the United States isn't supporting them, then Israel will die. That is kind of how the United States relates to them. I think it's more likely that the United States can go the other route in just extending the war, the conflict in the Middle East, going to war with Iran. Now, if we were to look at Trump, I mean, I don't know if I should start pulling cards for Trump specifically. That's not really what I want to do here. So I'll just give a short assessment of that, is that Trump does have incentive to not go to war with Iran simply because no one wants him to. And he does somewhat care about that. But what does Israel have on the United States that could give them a leg up in all of this? Because remember, Iran being a reverse fool, to me, is kind of like a difficult situation for them. I don't see a lot of hope for them, because there is a lot of information missing that is quite critical, and they only come upon it when it's too late. Like the fact that Israel will go to war with you as soon as you try to make peace. It killed their peace negotiator as well. It's a big deal. All right. So, what does Israel have on the United States? Reverse world. Okay. That's interesting. I think there might be more to it, but this isn't really for Donald Trump. It is for the United States. So I might need to ask it about Donald Trump as well. But if we look at the world specifically, I think Israel kind of provides a sort of legacy, a tainted legacy, but a legacy that they kind of feel needs to be redeemed. And that can only happen if the United States is on board with them. To them, the United States, like many people within the United States, view Israel as a holy land. It is more than just politics to them. It is religion. I think that's why we get it reverse world as opposed to just regular world, is that this isn't about the politics of Israel's relationship to the United States. It is more ethereal. It's more spiritual. A lot of people feel spiritually attached to Israel, specifically within the United States. Now, the thing about the United States, it is the death card. Even though that Israel currently has a spiritual hold on the United States, and they hope, we can bring back Jesus, right? I think that's also a way to look at reverse world in any way. It's like kind of like a pitch to the United States. Look, we can bring back Jesus. We can bring the end times. I mean, that is what you guys want, right? I'm going to also ask, what does Israel have on Donald Trump? I'm curious. I don't even know if I'm going to get, because we're not going to get, right, like a very specific answer. There's so many options out there. But what does Israel have on Donald Trump, if anything? 5 of Cups. That makes sense. 5 of Cups is like a very guilty card, or like mourning like past choices. Yeah, kind of like, yeah, it's a very guilty card. Whatever Israel has on Donald Trump, it's something that makes him feel guilty. Yeah, I see Donald Trump. They have something on him. They have something on him that he definitely doesn't want the world to, and that's scary. Because that's something that we have no control over, right? It doesn't matter how much we oppose the war. If they have something on him that he doesn't want to get leaked, that will be the ultimate decider of what he decides to do. We don't have anything on Donald Trump. Okay, well, that's good to know. Let's not get too deep into that, but let's see, like, what can Iran do to save themselves from United States and from what's that? Okay, no. Okay, only a few cards here. All right, so I got 4 cards that fell out during the shuffle. Okay, so what can Iran do to save itself from the United States? Reverse 7 of Swords. And I meant save itself from Israel. It's okay. What I meant matters, not what I said. Okay, so that's, I mean, it's not good. It's not good. It's, I mean, it kind of tells me that there's not really much that can be done. Once again, we're at a 7, right? Reverse 7 of Swords. I mean, 7 of Swords is not like 7 of Cups. It's a little bit, in that these are both cards that are like the borderline situation. And we got reverse 7 of Swords on top of the reverse Fool, and it kind of feels like Iran is already like too deep into a situation. It doesn't seem like any decision made will give them what they want. Iran most likely did not have nuclear weapons, but the nuclear facilities were targeted and destroyed. The reason why this was done is well, you know what? Let's ask the cards. Why were the nuclear facilities destroyed? Why did Israel do that to Iran? Because that might help in at least like assessing like reverse 6 of Pentacles. Now, before I talk about the card, this is what we're talking about here. All right, so let's be really careful here and really let's try to be serious. I'm going to need clarification, but right now, reverse 6 of Pentacles and the fact that it is a card about the nuclear bomb. It's Robert Oppenheimer is the archetype for this card. This is the Hexen 2.0 deck, by the way. That's why you got some stuff. Okay, so first of all, what I'm getting out of this is that this is definitely not about stopping nuclear weapons. That's just the cover. I think, all right. Reverse 2 of Swords. I think really this isn't about like any particular. If Iran's going to surrender, if anything Iran can do, I'm imagining what Israel believes at least is that they are going to dominate Iran and then be able to dominate the Middle East. And for the United States, I mean, that if that all works out perfectly without any consequences, would be a step in the right direction, a step towards utopia. This is very New World Order shit. I mean, that's really what the card says. I mean, we're talking about Israel's decision to bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. And the reason why they needed these nuclear facilities is because they're trying to have a nuclear power plant. That is the goal, is to have nuclear power, just like how they have desalination technology. It is to make them self-sustaining. But if you dominate their ability to sustain themselves and force them into a global economy, to trade with the United States on every single need that they have, and I guess Israel could be the facilitator of that trade in the first place, since they are the hub, right? They are the Middle Eastern hub for Western interests. And they don't want Iran and Saudi Arabia to be the hubs for Western interests, even though they somewhat currently are. Iran has potential to be. I mean, from what I'm getting out of this is that the United States and Israel are hoping to achieve something, and it requires massive destruction and change. and Iran, unfortunately, is just completely out of the loop on all of that, and to their detriment. Is there something that I am just completely unaware of that is coming? Is there something coming that will change all of this? And if there is something out there that could come, that could change all of this, what is it? The Hermit. Is this card meant for me, or is this card meant for like me and the people that are watching this, or is this card sort of is this a global national card that we should be considering, or is it for me? I mean, you know what? That's. Should I be thinking more about me and my followers, or should I be thinking more about the globe and what's out there in the cosmos? Reverse Queen of Pentacles. All right, well, you know what? As soon as I was asking that question and I kept thinking, but I think this card kind of tells me it's more about me. Okay, me and my followers and whoever's watching this. We'll get into that in a sec, but I need to ask it. I need to ask more questions. All right, so what is something that I specifically should be paying attention to? And what is something that is more outside of me going on in the globe that I really have at least at the moment, no control over, but, I don't believe that will be, as soon as I think about it, then I do have control. So, but at the moment, something I'm just not touching, something I'm not focused on, something that is happening independently of my path. Reverse 8 of Wands for that, and for me, reverse 6 of Wands. Okay, so I think this is like, at least as far as the world goes, I think there's a lot of chaos right now, and I don't really think there is a path. I think the world is, Alan Moore once said that he doesn't believe in global conspiracy theories because to him, on a large scale, the world is rudderless, and it's just like chaos. I don't know his specific terms, but I remember him saying rudderless. And that is actually something really that goes deep into kind of how I look at political landscapes. Getting into a lot of this tarot stuff, there's a part of me that wants to always connect everything to some kind of spiritual tie-in, some kind of esoteric or occult situation. But I've always known, and this is kind of like confirming it for me, that when it comes to the globe, when it comes to everyone in the world and the nations especially, there's a lot more chaos, and that there really isn't much that individuals are capable of doing. At least when it comes to politics. Now, don't let this discourage, your practices if that's what you folks are doing. I don't think that is the case at all. I think that's why this is, the reverse 6 of Wands for me is telling me to keep, and also on top of a reverse Queen of Pentacles, this is very much in line with, sure, we are not part of this nationwide or this global chaos. We are not part of the decision makings of the states that are at war with each other. We are all part of our own little chaos bubbles. But we have a lot of strength and a lot of things to care about. that are a little bit beyond. That is that is why this is all on top of the hermit. We're all, I mean, at the beginning of the video, I said we're all entities, nations, individuals, CEOs, corporations, bicyclists. We're all entities on our own paths. We are all constantly making massive changes to the world. We are all making massive changes to each other and in our lives. Perhaps not even within our own sight. A lot of it is shrouded in mystery, but we are all doing quite a lot. If I were to give my own perspective, I do think how we treat each other is definitely more important. We may not have power over global politics, at least, but remember, Greta Thunberg brought a lot of attention to the flotillas attempting to bring food into Palestine that the IDF is intercepting in international waters. Greta Thunberg brought attention to that. An individual. There's a lot that we can do. It may not be able to save Iran. That is its own hermit. But hermits interact all the time. They meet each other. They hang out. They talk. They learn from each other. That's what we need to be doing. Whether you're an atheist or into this kind of stuff, or a Christian, Muslim, we need to be helping each other. We need to be protecting those we love, protecting our communities. All right, well, let's wrap this up then. One last card to help me make sense of this all. What should I end this on? I mean, what should we be thinking about now? How do we wrap this up for all of us? All right. The Tower and the Sun. Look, we are in the age of Aquarius. This card is about anarchism and post-leftism. So, I mean, literally the card, not the sun specifically, but if you believe in the age of Aquarius, we are going to be removing old ways and leading to a more egalitarian, science-based, logical way. And that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, well, see ya.